at cool hot rod cars at the school. And then we go into sanding. Oh my gosh, young people working. You just don't see this much anymore unless you come into my class. And we're prepping out this CJ7 body. Got all the sheet metal for it already prepped. Gonna walk around and show it to you in this video. We are going to spray these parts, and it's a beautiful blue color. And all high school students spraying. Got the doors all prepped up. They're blocked out, epoxied on the bottom. Hood's the same way. The Jeep parts. It's a whole Jeep laying here, waiting to be painted. Another door prepped outside, prepped inside. These pieces have been prepped for a long time. You can see they got a little dust on them. Windshield frame, grill, glove box, all of that stuff there. That's pretty much a whole Jeep, just in a few pieces. Maybe that's what we ought to start building. They're like, not much to them. Anyway, I'm gonna keep popping in video in little bits and pieces as we go through this. It's a pretty cool job to do, so let's get it done. All right, since this is a brand new heat-coated tub, we have to go through and seam seal every crack and crevice in it. So that's part of the learning experience for the students right here. Not the most beautiful job. Woo, yeah, hey. Yeah, like back in here, there's a crack right there, or a seam. You can't just do the big part, you gotta get all the little stuff too. Moisture will come right in there with you. Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, you just got to take a little time and be prideful in it.
This part too, right?
Yep. All right, so we got the full line of Omni products out here on the bench today. And you got your gray epoxy primer. They offer that in a white and a black as well. The hardener for the epoxy, and then that's for all of our bare metal, and we use it as a sealer right before we spray base coat. Then we have our high build 2K here, and again, Omni paint line, 4-to-1 mix, dries good. That's for filling and taking care of our body work, getting everything straight. And then we have our Omni MBC base coat. You see that color of blue. It's just a GM color actually. And they call it Rapid. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, the Omni base coat, the Omni reducer works in everything. And then our Omni clear coat here, this MC270 and the 278 hardener. Stuff works really well. I've used it quite a bit. It's kind of PPG's cheaper line of paint. They have another one that's called Shop Line. The Omni stuff is what I use a lot here at the school with my students because it's reasonably priced and pretty easy to spray. So we're gonna catch some clips of them spraying some color on some of these parts and try to make a video out of this Jeep. The Jeep. All right, so you can see first round just a couple of parts here that we had to get out after the first spray, but isn't that a pretty color of blue? I think Jeeps are so cool because they're like Tonka toys for big kids. This thing is all a brand new tub, a bunch of other brand new sheet metal that's been assembled and fit, and then he got a front clip and had it all sandblasted, a little bit of rust repair. Not much though, so I figured I'd take you guys and bring you along, let you watch some of the high school students spraying base clear paint on this CJ7 parts. really doesn't need that much paint on the inside of it actually. But definitely make sure we get the edges of it. And if these are sprayed first, they'll be the driest because we're gonna flip them over and clear them and just like point the gun up at them when we spray clear. All right, they're up, Bodie. Oh yeah, looking good. All right, let her flash off. All right. Yeah, missed the overlap by a little bit, but just let it flash and then come back and hit it again. Be conscious of spraying up under here because it's, you know, it's just not our natural tendency to point that gun up the way it needs to be done there. Here, Mr. Bodie, he's spraying the first coat of base over our epoxy that we put on as sealer on these parts. Just kind of the way it goes. It takes 2 coats, pretty well covers everything, and then you put the third one on there just for insurance. So I skip a bunch, but he applies a coat, lets it flash off, applies another coat, lets that flash, and then we put the last coat on. Got a big shot. Oh, look good. 1 coat. Yeah. All right, up here on the mixing bench, we got all our stuff. I showed earlier the quart of base. I actually bought 5 quarts to paint this Jeep because we're doing the whole tub, all the sheet metal inside and out. So basically everything but the underside of it is getting sprayed. So I wanted to show you real quick like my fast way to do my mixing when I'm mixing a large quantity. You know, there's a lot of different ways to do this. If I want, I'm making a ½ gallon of base coat at a time basically, or sprayable material, a ½ gallon of sprayable material at a time. So best part of the paint job's on the very bottom of the can. You want to really stir this stuff up good. I had it on the paint shaker earlier. If you don't have a paint shaker, the store you buy your material from will shake the paint for you usually. Oh, and then when you dump out of a gallon, you got to just go for it and pour fast. And then I'll fill it up most of the way with base. I hate wasting anything. So I have my like gallon can here, just rinsed out clean can. Now you can use about anything to mix paint in, just don't use antifreeze jugs because you'll have bad time with fish eyes. Yeah, so at any rate, you dump that in, and we're going to take our reducer, and I'm going to do the same. Not a whole lot of people are spraying overall paint jobs out there today, so you know, mixing up 2 quarts of sprayable material, that's a pretty big job for a lot of folks. Now I filled that up with the base, and then I'm going 90% with the reducer because since it's a solid color, this won't mess up my color. but it will make this cover just a little bit faster. And that's what I find when you buy the cheaper base coats. Sometimes they don't cover quite as good as the more expensive mainline paint. So yeah, just a slight under reduction. We're talking 10% there. I could probably go less, but I'm having students spray it, and that's a fast way to get a bunch of orange peel or texture in your paint, is to try to spray it too thick. So, John Kosmosky taught me this trick, by the way, the guy who started House of Color paint company back in the 80s. Yeah, he taught me back in the 80s. He's been doing it for many, many years. So we have that going, and then I just put my lid back on there, and I have this all ready. My students know how to do this, but I'm just trying to help them out and get it going. You know what I mean? Happy with it? Oh wow, and then we switch off to look at those cars down there. Yeah, this is the police and emergency first responder, firemen, ex-highway patrol or retired highway patrol group called Beat the Heat. These guys go across the nation. There's groups of them in every state, and it's just a group of guys that want to get kids on the racetrack and off of the streets driving cars and getting in trouble or worse. So pretty cool opportunity. Got a few of them running, so you can hear these awesome beasts these guys brought out to show the students. For a few.
Any questions? Yeah. So.
If that shows up or not, but you know, from time to time we all get a little run in the paint, pull a little something. So I always tell my students that there's nothing that you do in here that you can't fix out here. So what we're going to end up doing, I've got a stir stick, that's my sanding block, and I'm going to take a little 400 grit sandpaper wet. I'm going to sand these spots out and get rid of them, and we'll get it back in the booth and we'll spray this sucker. All right, so I just whipped this sucker down with a little bit of water. You can use wax and grease remover too. It just gets kind of expensive if you have to do very big areas. It just I also find that if I sand in tight circles right on top of runs and those kind of defects, it'll flatten them out better than an X pattern. But it only works good on runs, so that's kind of interesting, at least to me. But I'm just all about the refinishing process. I see lots of people doing metal work and different stuff. It all is part of the process. Painting just has always been my kind of my passion. All right, so just a couple minutes of sanding. All our sign of run is gone, so we'll get it back in and get some base put on this tailgate so we can clear these parts. Woo! Buddy, come on. Yeah, go faster, come on. Faster travel speed. Move. Come on, you're doing it. Keep going. To the end. It's hard to get stuff really clean with so many people walking in and out. Oh yeah, looking beautiful. All right, so as you can see, a ton of stuff painted Good progress, even though the tailgate, we had to redo it a couple times because we got a couple runs in there. That stuff happens. And these guys are just doing great work. So I do appreciate you guys watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the bottom, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, guys.